Have you ever wondered what happens when the cool, calm, and collected Sigma female finally reaches her breaking point? What dark forces lurk beneath that composed exterior, waiting to be unleashed? Well, buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a wild ride into the shadowy depths of the Sigma female psyche. Hey there, truth seekers and personality enthusiasts. Today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's been buzzing around the internet and setting tongues wagging in social circles everywhere. We're talking about Sigma females, those enigmatic, independent women who march to the beat of their own drum. But we're not just scratching the surface here. Oh no, we're going deep, folks. We're peeling back the layers to reveal what really happens when a Sigma female snaps. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, aren't Sigma females supposed to be these ultra-chill, unbothered queens who couldn't care less about what anyone thinks, and you'd be right to a point? But here's the thing, even the most composed individuals have their limits. And when a Sigma female reaches hers, well, let's just say it's not pretty. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let's take a step back and refresh our memory on what exactly a Sigma female is. For those of you who've been living under a rock, no judgment, we've all been there. A Sigma female is often described as the lone wolf of the female personality types. She's independent, self-reliant, and doesn't give two hoots about social hierarchies or fitting in. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because there's more to this story than meets the eye. You see, being a Sigma female isn't all sunshine and roses. It comes with its own unique set of challenges and pressures that can slowly but surely chip away at even the strongest of facades. First off, let's talk about the pressure of always being on. Sigma females are known for their cool, collected demeanor. They're the ones who keep their heads when everyone else is losing theirs. But here's the kicker: maintaining that level of composure 24/7 is exhausting. It's like wearing a mask that never comes off, always having to project this image of unflappable confidence and self-assurance. And let's not forget about the loneliness. Sure, Sigma females pride themselves on their independence, but humans are social creatures at heart. Even the most introverted among us need connection. But for Sigma females, forming deep connections can be a real challenge. They often find themselves on the outside looking in, not quite fitting into any social group. It's like being at a party where everyone's speaking a language you don't quite understand. Then there's the constant battle against societal expectations. We live in a world that often doesn't know what to do with women who don't conform to traditional roles. Sigma females are constantly pushing against these expectations, carving out their own path. And let me tell you, that's no walk in the park. It's more like trying to swim upstream in a river of molasses, exhausting and often frustrating. So what happens when all these pressures build up? When the mask starts to crack and the real, raw emotions start seeping through? That's when things get interesting, my friends. When a Sigma female snaps, it's not your run-of-the-mill temper tantrum. Oh no, it's a seismic event, a tsunami of pent-up emotions and repressed frustrations. It's like watching a volcano that's been dormant for years suddenly erupt. And trust me, you don't want to be in the blast radius when it happens. One of the most common ways a Sigma female might snap is through a sudden and intense outburst of anger. We're talking full-on rage mode here, folks. All those little annoyances and frustrations that she's been brushing off for months or even years. They all come rushing out in one explosive moment. It's like watching a pressure cooker finally blow its lid. But here's the thing, this anger isn't just directed outwards. Often a significant portion of it is turned inward. Sigma females tend to be their own harshest critics. When they snap, all those self-doubts and insecurities they've been pushing down come bubbling to the surface. It's a brutal internal battle, and the collateral damage can be significant. Another way a Sigma female might snap is by completely withdrawing from the world. We're talking full-on hermit mode. She might ghost her friends, call in sick to work, and spend days or even weeks in self-imposed isolation. It's like she's trying to build a cocoon around herself, shutting out all the noise and pressure of the outside world. But this isn't just a simple case of needing some me time. When a Sigma female retreats like this, it's often because she's reached a point where she can no longer maintain her usual facade of strength and independence. The mask has slipped, and she needs time to piece it back together. Now, let's talk about something that's not often discussed: the potential for self-destructive behavior. When a Sigma female snaps, she might engage in activities that are harmful to herself. This could range from excessive drinking or substance abuse to engaging in risky behaviors. It's like she's trying to prove to herself that she's still in control, even if that control means choosing to lose control. But perhaps the most insidious way a Sigma female might snap is by completely abandoning her values and principles. You see, Sigma females often have a strong moral compass and a clear sense of who they are. But when they reach their breaking point, all of that can go out the window. They might make decisions or take actions that are completely out of character, leaving their friends and loved ones shocked and confused. It's important to note that this isn't just about having a bad day or feeling a bit stressed. When we talk about a Sigma female snapping, we're talking about a fundamental shift in behavior and mindset. It's like watching a completely different person emerge from behind the familiar facade. So, what triggers this kind of breakdown? Well, it's rarely just one thing. More often it's a perfect storm of circumstances that pushes a Sigma female past her limits. It could be a combination of work stress, relationship problems, health issues, and societal pressures all coming to a head at once. But there's often one common thread in many of these situations: a feeling of being misunderstood or undervalued. Sigma females are used to marching to the beat of their own drum, but that doesn't mean they don't crave recognition and understanding. When they feel like their efforts and sacrifices are going unnoticed or unappreciated, it can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, you might be wondering, is there any way to prevent this from happening? And the answer is, it's complicated. The truth is, everyone has their breaking point. Even the strongest, most independent individuals can only take so much before something gives. But there are certainly ways to mitigate the risk. For Sigma females, one of the most important things is learning to let the mask slip in controlled ways. It's about finding safe spaces and trusted individuals where they can be vulnerable and express their true feelings without fear of judgment. It's also crucial for Sigma females to recognize the importance of self-care. And I'm not just talking about bubble baths and face masks here, though those can be nice too. I'm talking about real, meaningful self-care. This might involve setting boundaries, learning to say no, and making time for activities that truly recharge their batteries. Another key factor is developing a support system. Now, I know what you're thinking, but aren't Sigma females supposed to be lone wolves? Well, yes and no. While Sigma females value their independence, that doesn't mean they have to face everything alone. Having a few trusted friends or a therapist to turn to can make a world of difference when the pressure starts to build. It's also important for those around Sigma females to understand what they're dealing with. If you have a Sigma female in your life, whether it's a friend, partner, or family member, try to be patient and understanding. Recognize that their cool exterior doesn't mean they don't have feelings or need support. Sometimes just knowing that someone sees and appreciates them can be enough to prevent a breakdown. Now let's talk about what happens after a Sigma female snaps. Because let's face it, life doesn't stop just because you've had a meltdown. The aftermath of a breakdown can be a challenging time for a Sigma female. There's often a sense of shame or embarrassment about losing control. After all, these are women who pride themselves on their composure and independence. But here's the thing: sometimes hitting rock bottom can be the catalyst for real growth and change. It's like the old saying goes, sometimes you need to break down to break through. For many Sigma females, snapping can be a wake-up call, a sign that something needs to change in their life. In the aftermath of a breakdown, many Sigma females find themselves reevaluating their priorities and boundaries. They might start to recognize the importance of letting people in and allowing themselves to be vulnerable. It's like they're learning to dance a new dance, one that balances independence with connection, strength with vulnerability. This period of rebuilding can also be a time of incredible creativity and self-discovery. Many Sigma females report feeling a sense of liberation after snapping, like they've finally shed a skin that no longer fits. It's like they're seeing the world through new eyes, free from the constraints of their old patterns and expectations. But let's be real, this process isn't always smooth sailing. There can be setbacks, moments of doubt, and the temptation to slip back into old patterns. It's like trying to break a habit. It takes time, patience, and a whole lot of self-compassion. One of the biggest challenges for Sigma females in the aftermath of snapping is learning to trust again, not just others, but themselves. There's often a fear that if they let their guard down, they'll lose control again. It's like trying to walk on a tightrope while carrying the weight of past experiences on your shoulders. But here's the beautiful thing: with time and effort, many Sigma females emerge from this experience stronger and more balanced than ever before. They learn to integrate all parts of themselves, the strong and the vulnerable, the independent and the connected. It's like watching a butterfly emerge from its chrysalis, a transformation that's both beautiful and profound. So, what can we learn from all of this? Well, for starters, it's a reminder that even the strongest among us have their limits. It's a call to look beyond the surface, to recognize that behind every cool, composed exterior is a complex human being with fears, doubts, and needs. For Sigma females, it's a reminder of the importance of authenticity and self-care. It's about learning to drop the mask sometimes, to allow themselves to be human with all the messiness that entails. It's about recognizing that true strength isn't about never breaking, it's about how you piece yourself back together when you do. And for the rest of us, it's a lesson in empathy and understanding. It's a reminder to look beyond labels and stereotypes, to see the individual behind the persona. It's about creating a world where everyone, regardless of their personality type, feels seen, understood, and valued. As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Sigma females and what happens when they snap, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've seen that behind the cool, composed exterior of the Sigma female lies a complex inner world, full of pressures, expectations, and emotions. We've explored the various ways a Sigma female might snap, from explosive outbursts to complete withdrawal, from self-destructive behavior to abandoning core values. We've looked at the triggers that can push a Sigma female to her breaking point, and the ways to potentially prevent or mitigate these breakdowns. But perhaps most importantly, we've seen that snapping, while painful and challenging, can also be a catalyst for growth and transformation. It's an opportunity for Sigma females to reassess their priorities, build healthier boundaries, and find a more balanced way of being in the world. So, the next time you encounter a Sigma female or any person who seems to have it all together, remember that there's always more to the story than meets the eye. Approach with empathy, understanding, and an open mind. Because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to navigate this crazy world as best we can. And to all the Sigma females out there, remember, it's okay to not be okay sometimes. Your strength isn't defined by never breaking, but by how you pick yourself up and keep moving forward. You're not alone, even when it feels like you are. Your journey is valid, your feelings are valid, and you are so much more than the mask you wear. So here's to the Sigma females, to their strength, their complexity, and their incredible resilience. May we all learn to embrace our true selves, with all our strengths and vulnerabilities. Because that, my friends, is where true power lies. And there you have it, folks, a deep dive into the dark reality behind the Sigma female mask. Whether you're a Sigma female yourself, know one, or are just fascinated by personality psychology, I hope this exploration has given you some food for thought. Remember, in the grand tapestry of human experience, every thread is valuable. So let's celebrate our differences, support each other through our struggles, and work together to create a world where everyone feels free to be their authentic selves. Until next time, keep questioning, keep growing, and above all, keep being beautifully, messily human.